Once upon a time in a small village, there was a wise old man named Mr. Martin. Everyone in the village looked up to him for advice and guidance. One sunny morning, Mr. Martin decided to teach the villagers an important lesson about life. He called everyone to the village square and placed a big, empty glass jar on a table. Beside the jar, he had a bag filled with small, smooth pebbles, a bucket of sand, and a single golden seed. "Today, I'm going to show you something very special," Mr. Martin announced. The villagers, young and old, gathered around, curious to see what he would do. First, Mr. Martin took the bag of pebbles and carefully poured them into the jar. The pebbles made a loud clattering sound as they fell in, filling the jar nearly to the top. "These pebbles represent the big, important things in our lives," he explained. "Our family, our health, our dreams." Next, he picked up the bucket of sand. Slowly, he poured the sand over the pebbles. The sand trickled down, filling the gaps between the pebbles. "The sand stands for the small things," he said. "Our daily tasks, chores, and minor worries." Finally, Mr. Martin held up the golden seed. It shimmered in the sunlight, catching everyone's attention. "This golden seed is the most important thing of all," he said with a smile. "It represents the purpose and passion in our lives." He tried to place the seed on top of the sand, but it just rolled off and fell to the ground. The jar was too full. Mr. Martin picked up the seed and set it aside. "Let's try this again," he said. He emptied the jar and started over. This time, he placed the golden seed at the bottom of the jar first. "Always start with your purpose and passion," he advised. Then he poured the pebbles in. They settled around the seed, making room for it. Finally, he added the sand, which flowed around the pebbles and filled the jar completely. "See how everything fits perfectly when you prioritize the most important thing first?" Mr. Martin asked. The villagers nodded, understanding the lesson. But then, something unexpected happened. A strong gust of wind blew through the village square, knocking the jar off the table. It shattered on the ground, and everything spilled out. The villagers gasped in surprise. Mr. Martin looked at the mess and smiled. "Life is full of surprises and challenges," he said. "Even when you have everything planned perfectly, things can still go wrong. But what matters most is not the jar or the pebbles or the sand. It's the golden seed." He picked up the golden seed from the ground and held it up high. "As long as you have your purpose and passion, you can always start over. Life may break your plans, but it can never break your spirit." The villagers left the square that day with a new sense of determination. They realized that no matter what happened, they needed to hold onto their purpose and passion. And so, whenever life got tough, they remembered Mr. Martin's lesson and found the strength to keep going. And that, dear reader, is why it's so important to always cherish your golden seed.